Welcome to the Wisdom of 21 Winning Women and Their Lessons. My name is Reverend Joy Dore, and I'll be your host today. The purpose of this summit is to empower, to inspire, educate women by showcasing the diverse experiences and wisdom of 21 accomplished women who have achieved success in their respective fields. The summit aims to create a platform for collaboration, learning, and networking, fostering a supportive community for women striving for excellence. Lastly, help women embrace their winning moments, regardless of how small or big, towards a successful and fulfilling life. And this time we are looking to empower, excel, embrace, and elevate. Right. So here in the studio today, we have our one and only, Kathy, and she is the esteemed founder of RiseUP Coaching. I love it. And a champion for women's well-being in the corporate arena. I just gonna, introduce my speaker by saying why I chose her today. I chose her because she's not just like a coach, she's a seasoned speaker and author. So, and she eliminates the often overlooked cause of burnout. And that is for me a half for all the women that we're going to have on this summit, and let them just know that somebody's there, to advocate for healing as an essential, empowering inside job, which is what most people actually live out there. So, and that is how she created a signature program called Drive Your Destiny. Oh my God. Come on, imagine when I drive my destiny. That is powerful. Because so many people don't drive their destiny, right? So in the house, I just want to, let you guys meet our coach today. And I'm going to let her tell us how she earned it or learned it or how her journey has been over the years and what led to all this. So, Coach Kathy, is your time.
Thank you so much, Reverend Joy, for having me here. I am so honored and excited to be a part of this. My journey is pretty boring from the beginning of it. I was a normal average woman. I went to work. I was successful in corporations and in sales management and training people. Where things were changing for me was the fact that I was living in a time where we were to give and give and give, but still rise up and become the best versions of ourselves. So there were so many rules and everything that pulled people apart in different ways. My body was screaming at me eventually. My body was racked with pain, fibromyalgia, adrenal fatigue, osteoarthritis. My body was literally shutting down, and yet I was still soldiering up every day and getting up and pushing and pushing. Yeah, eventually you can't keep that pace, and I broke. And breaking was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because I was able to realize that I had a lot of self-sacrificing, people-pleasing, things that had been built into my brain and my belief systems. And I was out of integrity with my own self. And so that was how I started my own personal healing journey when the medical community offered me pills. Uh, and I wanted to get to the root cause. I wanted to find out what happened and how can I fix it. So I went on a healing journey. Thank goodness I'd been a student and a geek of neuroplasticity, neuroscience, biology, you name it, psychology. I was fascinated by human beings and what made us tick and how the brain worked and so many other things that I just took for my own knowledge. Well, obviously somebody was preparing me for my break, which was awesome because I was able to pull all of that knowledge, and I was able to take my corporate background and go to root cause analysis and actually start to heal myself. I pulled a little here, a little there, and found that I could go to the root of my beliefs and rewire it and heal and cut the past. I became an energy healer with the body code so that I could heal myself. And so when I went through this process and came to find that I was in love with the woman in the mirror for the first time of my life, no more did I need to avert my eyes when I looked in the mirror. I actually was proud of who I was because I chose and created who I wanted to be, who I authentically was.
Wow. Wow. That is so, oh my God. It just summarized a powerful, what I call deep information for everyone that is listening to us today. Because trust me, it just takes us to actually come to that place where we recognize ourselves and begin to work on ourselves that actually brings out the best in us. And that is going to take me to the first question I have for you today. Reflecting, yes, reflecting on your journey, right? What
Yeah.
personal experience or turning points led to pursuing a career in becoming a seasoned speaker, author, and a coach?
Well, when I became through my healing journey and everything started to line up and I became more integrated in myself, I was able to realize that I was an integrated, interrelated system. And the world we lived in is an integrated, interrelated system. And everything is connected. Everything matters. And so when I became aligned with that powerful creative energy, I was led.
Mhm.
I was led to where I authentically was, where I shine, and the message that I had that we were all born with everything we needed. We just haven't been told how to access it. Our society has purposely disempowered us by making us conform and be ordinary and average. Not one of us was ever born to be average. We're unique and we each have a place in this world and a gift to bring. And so when I started following my dreams and when I started to follow what was authentically me, and felt alive and engaged and passionate, it just fell into place. And I realized that when you know something like this, you can't keep it to yourself. And so I created 2024 to be the year that I am going to spend on cooperation and collaboration to bring as many people, especially women. I believe our energy is what is needed in the world. And when we come together as a sisterhood and when we band together, and that is the energy that the world needs.
And that brings me to the next question for you. You just lined it up so good, because how do you blend innovative coaching techniques and energy healing to address the unique challenges faced by women in business? And you kind of like touch up with it, but like in a narrow way, somebody asking you, what unique strategies or techniques do you find most effective in your coaching practice for women? I love the way this is just deep. This is good. How do you?
Well, for me, it's about self-knowledge. So when I was talking integrated, interrelated systems, we have a lymphatic system, we have a respiratory system, we have a digestive system. All those systems are interconnected. We are all 100% energy. And the energy that we radiate out. and we live within a world of universal laws. So my Drive the Destiny program is taking what we were taught on how to drive a car, which you would not send anybody out into a car without any information, but yet we are sent out into the world without knowing how our body is speaking to us, what those hormones and what those chemicals are meaning and how to process them. We have a ways our brain processes things, and when we understand the process of how it goes through, then we can go directly to a root cause and decide, does this work for me or does this not? And then when we align it all, I'm sounding very ethereal, and I don't mean to be, because the way I teach people is that there is a physical biological reaction that is happening within our body. And when we understand that that is the same as the energetic, emotional, spiritual, it's just the other side of the coin. And so when we can see how our body communicates and fits within that environment, now we're powerful.
Wow. Oh my God. Now we are powerful indeed. Because, oh my God, Kathy, this is something we should know. Because you know how many people just drag, like literally drag, forced to, let's say, career. Sometimes they're not even, they're not even into it. They haven't figured themselves to even embrace those things that people are pushing them into, especially the women. Most people want to make decisions for us because they believe they know better than us. They know better than we know ourselves. Yeah. So this is just so good. This is just so good. And this is going to bring me to the next powerful question I have for you, because, we are talking to women and we are, trying to bring out the best in them. So in the content of women in business, right, can you share a case where your unique coaching methods and energy healing played a crucial role in helping a client overcome a particular challenge or obstacle? And what key insights or transformations emerged from this experience?
Oh, I'm not sure that I have a specific example to give you. What I do have to give is the fact that when we're working in corporations and we're working in businesses, we are surrounded by a culture that is not our creation. And it becomes very easy to get lost and swept away into some other culture and get disconnected from ourselves. And when we become disconnected from ourselves and falling into roles that are not aligned with who we really are, then we're creating stress, and we're setting ourselves up for burnout, and we're setting ourselves up for mental health issues and physical issues and everything else. So my focus is to be able to show people where to access their power, and their intuition and their gifts, so that they take the best of themselves into that business corporate environment. And the reason, and the reason that I like to work with professional women is because they have to put on a mask of who they are every day. And we have to get back to authenticity. We have to get back to being able to say that we can be vulnerable, that we can be showing our true selves, and not being afraid to hide any of those things that have been deemed as weaknesses, because they're not, they're our strength.
I like that. Oh my God. And now thinking about the whole entire system, for me, if we could really balance our energy and our well-being, which is very crucial, we can also balance a lot of health issues that are out there, in our bodies. And that is the part that, I am looking at with your coaching class, with what you want to bring out of people. So can you just tell us, like, how do you tailor your coaching to help women in business maintain a healthy energy flow? Like energy flow, and now resilience, where navigating professional challenges, because that balancing of energy and well-being being so crucial in the workforce, which is what you're trying to do, like what you told us earlier, having a vehicle and somebody just run into the vehicle without knowing how is that possible? That's just a disaster on its own. Even thinking about it alone is disaster. So, so now how do you tailor your coaching to help women in business maintain that healthy energy flow and resilience while navigating professional challenges?
Well, first you have to clean out the junk. You've got to do some house cleaning. Because we all come into this world with traumas and limiting beliefs because our brains were forming when we were a child. So our brains were forming and creating meaning and beliefs that were from a child's perspective. And they are usually outdated and not empowering. They're usually very limiting. So we first have to clean out all of that, cut the ties to it. And then one of the tools that I use to do that is when we get to the root of an issue. Okay, so for example, I had a lot of digestion issues for many, many years. And when I went through my healing, I found that my mother had always had this joke that said, "I'm so perfect, I don't have bodily functions." Well, my brain had attributed that you are not perfect if you have bodily functions. And so I was always holding it in and suppressing it and ashamed when I had to use the bathroom. It was a big shame. And so that was creating chaos in my gut. Well, our gut biome is one of our brains. We have three central intelligences within our body. Our gut is one of them. It has millions of different microbiomes that have a whole interconnected system, and they will send out hormones. They will send out all sorts of commands within our body, just like our brain does that we know about. And our heart is the third brain. And it is electrically connected to the environment around us. We know that we can measure our heart. It's electromagnetic fields. When we go into the hospital, when they put all those monitors on us, well, that electric field, that electromagnetic field connects at least 3 feet away from us that we know of. But when we know that we are 100% energy, when we go right down to the cells, we are 100% energy, and we are connected to all the energy in the world. There is no separation between, it's like separating the molecules of air. You can't separate one drop of the ocean. It's all interconnected. So when we understand that our spirituality is connected to our physicality, we're not disconnected. We are different sides of the coin. And then when we understand the physicality and how it connects to spirituality, how it connects to energetic power, the creative power that we all have and are connected to, then we can navigate. After the healing, we go into a creation of who we are, which is a whole process, just like building a business. We were never told that we could choose our own mission, our own purpose, our own values, our own morals, our own beliefs. We can choose them. It doesn't have to be evolved from what we were living in. and just how we were shaped by whatever experiences we had. No, we can make a choice, and we can say, this is who I am. This is who I stand for. Just like building a business, just like building a car. And then when we know how we can use the physical connections with the universal laws, then we can navigate and drive. So without it sounding so ethereal is the only word I can think of at this moment. Let me give you an example. Our central nervous system is directly connected to 3 parts of our brain. So when information comes in, the first place it goes to our primal brain. And our primal brain then decides, it has one job. Am I safe? That's all, that's its only job. And if it deems not safe, it turns on the fire alarm and the alarms. And that is all of our stress coming through our body, the cortisol, everything like that, to get us ready to deal with whatever danger is happening. Wow. It shuts down the front of our brain. So we don't need to think or create or plan or innovate when we're in danger. It shuts down our digestive system because we don't need to process food if we need to run away from a tiger. You know what I mean? So when that happens, and we can never ever control when it happens because it is so fast, you don't even know it's happened until you feel the effects of it. So when you understand what your body feels like when the stress has been turned on, then you can consciously decide, is this actually dangerous, or is this an email?
Exactly. It's just an email or phone call.
Yeah. So after that, the second part of our brain is our emotional part of our brain. Well, our emotions are chemical responses, and those chemicals create what we call feelings, but those chemicals create vibrations, and those vibrations vibrate at different levels, and those different levels of vibrations connect to other ones. So if your feelings, which are chemically created from whatever's happening in our brain, and they get connected to the beliefs, but if they have you in shame and blame and fear, you're vibrating in a place that's what you're experiencing. So if you are vibrating in a place where you are not at your highest, which is love and peace and joy, those are the emotions that vibrate high, and that's what you'll connect to. But if it gets trapped here because it's trapped into an old belief of something, it'll never go to the front prefrontal cortex and say, you can now think and make a decision. So when that stimulus comes to you and you know what's happening within your body, and you know, oops, I went immediately into stress. Well, now you know you've got a belief that is wired that says you have to get out of here. And now you can take a look at that belief, and you can actually rewire your brain if it's not a good belief for you. And same with the emotions. If you find you have an emotional trigger, then you know that that emotional trigger is trapped to something that happened in your past. And again, you can take a look at it and say, well, that's crazy. That doesn't mean anything. Just like my digestive issues were attached to a joke. They were attached to a joke my mother would say. It wasn't the truth.
No.
It was meant to be funny and lighthearted, but my brain interpreted it as you will be accepted if anyone knows you have bodily functions.
I'm telling you, this is, you see how simple these things sound, but how profound, how superior, how powerful they can shift a life by just, turning, not allowing the front side to think. Now everything stays on the limiting belief or whatever, just putting you in that small realm for you. Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, this is good. This is good. I hope this is helping somebody today as you're watching us. You're contemplating what next. And that is why I'm going to be letting the coach tell us what exactly Drive Your Destiny business to, in your coaching? Who do you coach, as in who do you work with right now? What do you, help them do? And how do you take them from point A, I said from point A to point Z, like you're giving them a speed? And who are they? Who is Drive Your Destiny for? That will be your next question.
It's for anyone, really, but I mainly work with women who are in transition, women who have gone through the majority of their child rearing life, that middle part of the life, and they're in what I call second puberty. And usually they feel lost because something is ending, but they don't know what is coming. And when you can take that moment and step into healing the past, which is the first part of Drive Your Destiny. I call it getting your driver's license. You clear out all the things that you don't need, and then you learn what you do need. And then the second part is create your identity, create who you are, so that you can actually feel your heart and your soul speaking to you. And know that those dreams, those passions, those aspirations are the language that your body uses to direct you to where your gift it belongs. So it may look like you want a Ferrari or a big house or whatever it is. That's not what your soul is actually wanting. What it wants is for you to go in the direction that's what will come, because that's where your gifts are going to be given or experienced or developed or whatever it is. And then the third stage is understanding universal laws. We only hear about the law of attraction, but there is so many more. The basic one is the law of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred and transmuted into something else. We know that in our buildings. We know that in our electric systems. We know that in our automation. It's the same thing with us. We can transmute and transfer all of that by our thoughts, because our thoughts create the chemicals that are released. And then that creates the whole symphony of what's happening. We can have the power to change our DNA by changing our thoughts. But how do you change your thoughts? Do you know that if you use the law of relativity, I have two laws that are my favorites. Everyone talks about the law of attraction, but that doesn't mean anything to me. The law of relativity says that what you experience is relative to your perspective. Okay. In a quantum physics world, it would be, there's a whole experiment and it's called the observer effect. But when we take it into us as a person, have you ever been in a situation, which I know you have, everyone has, where you have a different version of what happened in an event than somebody else who was right there?
Yes.
That's perspective. And nobody is right, or sorry, nobody is wrong, but they're all. And you have a perspective and a story and a belief that hurts, that feels bad. Change your perspective to a different meaning. The law of polarity states that for every thing, there is an exact opposite. If you're feeling fear, then courage is on the other side. If you're feeling pain, well, joy and love is on the other side. So all you have to do is flip the coin. You don't have to be stuck looking and experiencing something just because your brain was wired to see it from that perspective. You can choose. You can choose, and you can, because you can choose, you can create anything. You
can create anything. I love that. I love that. Just for my women, right, who are watching, I took something there. The second puberty. Is there any year to it? Like women, there's no year. It's just the process of human growth, right?
Yeah. I look at it as we have pre-puberty, right?
Okay,
Where your brain and your body are forming and it's happening. And then we have the stage where we are discovering who we are and we're giving and receiving.
sure.
Usually that is in creation mode where you're fertile and so you are creating from that. Now, when you are an empty nest, a divorce, a job change, something that says, I am done with that previous stage. I've done it, I've finished it, I have nothing left to give to it. Now, who am I? It falls along the lines of menopause or midlife crisis, or we've named it all sorts of things, but it's a transition.
Yes.
And whenever you're at a transition or a crossroads, you choose the direction, or you lay passive and just see what comes. And isn't it better to be the creator of what you want by stepping into who you are rather than being fearful of wondering what's coming next?
I love that. Trust me, like I'll keep using that word deep. This is really, oh my God, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. So, to summarize all that we said today, and once again, I really want to thank you, Coach Kathy, for being here. I know you wrote some books as an author, and you're also in the coaching industry for mostly women. We all serve everybody, but some of us have decided to go, like niche into women because we know that we want to help them, want to help them feel like they're winning, because it's one thing that some of them are winning, but because they haven't flipped the coin, as you said, they're still living in the pain instead of the joy that is over here for them. So that's what we try to help them do with this summit. And now with that, how will people who want to do exactly what you do or doing find you and also connect with you and let them know what free gift you have for the audience today, as they're going to use that to reach to you too, and also your social media, however they're going to find you, let us know so that they'll be able to reach out for more.
Absolutely. One of the gifts the main gift that I've created is a risk assessment to burnout. And it is a quiz, it's a self-assessment, it's free. It's on my website. I will put the link down below so you can go and get an assessment of exactly where you are. And then I've offered a free call for everyone to help them break apart and find out where the most value is to start healing, because 80% of what we deal with in pain is usually in the 20%. So I can help filter through where the focused attention can be. So that is my gift to everyone listening here. I'm on a mission. My mission this year, I don't know if I said it, is that 2024 is a year of collaboration and cooperation, especially for women.
For women. Awesome. Awesome. So you are in any social media platform? You didn't tell us?
Oh, absolutely. I'm on Facebook. I've got my Facebook group. I've got my book, unlearnthecrap.com. And as well, my other website is RiseUpCoaching.io, where I've got lots of blogs and information there that they can just dissect and go through. I would love to have anyone want to join my email list, because that's where I send out all the blogs and all the information, and it's just me loving on everybody.
I love that. And that is so powerful because, having that link to them will really make make their journey easy. And for people who want to work one-on-one with you, go through the call, the 30 minutes call, right, with you. And all that, I believe they can access it from the link we're going to put below. Everything you know about Kathy is going to be there for you. And also looking forward to see you on the day that Kathy is going to be on our summit, so that you can have a one-on-one question with our coach, because yes, so that, so you watch this and you want more from our coach, you just have to look out for the day she's going to be on the summit in the month of March, between the 6th to the 8th. And we are looking forward to seeing you there, asking her question and moving your life from A to Z. Hey, come on, I didn't say A to C. A to Z. We want to give you a speed this 2024. And as you know, she's collaborating and collaborating, and especially with women. So you're in the right place at the right time. And, just to say thank you so much, Coach Kathy, for, even showing up today for us for this. We are so grateful and we thank you for it. And also thank my audience who are going to be part of this, and all our 21 winning women. They are all experts and they are pouring out their heart so that we can have that life that we desire this year and going forward. So, and that will bring us to the end of the interview. And hey, don't forget to tune into the rest interviews, because hey, you never know which one is going to speak to you directly and get you out of where you are. So don't say, okay, I heard this. Make sure you listen and watch all the interview for yourself. So once again, I just want to say, I'm your host today, Reverend Joy, and it was a pleasure serving you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.